Breaking news. Chargers fans, you're not going to believe what's happening behind the scenes. There are three major moves the team is making right now, and they could completely change the course of our season. We're talking about decisions that could either take us straight to the Super Bowl or send us crashing before we even get started. So if you're a true fan of the powder blue, stay with me because what you're about to hear is not just surprising, it's game-changing. What's up, Chargers Nation? Strap in, because what I'm about to share could flip your entire view of this upcoming season. While the NFL world has been busy talking about big signings and flashy trades, some quiet but powerful changes are happening behind closed doors. And these moves, they could make or break our Super Bowl dreams. We're diving into three massive updates. One that impacts how well our franchise quarterback is protected, one about a defensive star who's been almost forgotten, and one shocking reunion that nobody expected, but could change everything. But before we get into these breaking stories, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss a single update from the Chargers camp. Because this is where you'll get the real, unfiltered truth. Now, let's get back to it. Let me ask you this. What happens if our quarterback doesn't get the protection he needs this season? That's not just a what if. It's the reality we're facing. And the answer lies with one player. A player who isn't always in the spotlight, but might be the most important piece on the offense this year. I'm talking about Zion Johnson. Yes, him. His performance this season could decide whether our QB stays on his feet or ends up on the turf, just like we saw during last season's playoff meltdown. The pressure is huge, and every snap he takes matters. So, is Zion ready to step up and become the anchor this offensive line desperately needs? Let's break it down. Right now, one man is carrying the weight of the entire Chargers offense. And no, it's not Justin Herbert. While fans and analysts argue over wide receivers and flashy running backs, the real battle is happening in the trenches. And the spotlight? It's squarely on Zion Johnson. Here's what's really wild. Head coach Jim Harbaugh is making one of the boldest moves we've seen in years. He's shifting Johnson, who has never played the position, to center. And that's not all. Bradley Bozeman is sliding over to left guard. That's a major shakeup, a complete reshuffle of the interior offensive line. And the risk? It's enormous. If Johnson adapts and shines at center, we suddenly open up multiple options. The team could grab a more natural guard to replace Bozeman, or if things go south, they could slide Andre James into the center role and move Johnson back. But here's the truth. Zion Johnson hasn't exactly been the model of consistency since we drafted him in 2022. One week he looks like an all-pro. The next, our quarterback is picking grass out of his helmet. And we all remember what happened against Houston in that wildcard disaster. Our interior line got absolutely manhandled. Herbert never stood a chance. That cannot happen again. This isn't just about one guy learning a new position. This is about protecting our most valuable asset and finally building the run game we've lacked for years. What makes it even more complicated? Bozeman has always been better at center throughout his career. Moving him away from his strongest position just adds more pressure on Zion to deliver. Because if he fails at center, we're not just stuck, we're exposed, vulnerable, and dangerously thin up front. But if he pulls it off, this offense could become something special. The spotlight is on, and Zion Johnson has never faced higher stakes. Let's be real here. We're not just asking Zion Johnson to learn a brand new position. We're risking making two players uncomfortable at once. By shifting Johnson to center and pushing Bradley Bozeman to left guard, a spot where he's historically been weaker, the Chargers are gambling big. This isn't just a shuffle. It's a full-blown experiment that could either unlock our entire offense or send it into chaos before the season even begins. Training camp, it's everything now. Every snap Zion takes, every protection call, every rep Bozeman gets out of position. It's all going to be watched, broken down, and judged under a microscope. And if that wasn't enough pressure, wait till you hear about the defensive story no one is talking about. A piece of our past that could be the answer to a question we didn't even realize we still had. Listen up, Bolts fans. This is where it gets wild. While all eyes have been glued to the offensive line situation, there's a former Chargers warrior sitting at home, jobless, and it's honestly shocking. Kazir White. Remember that name? You should, because for a time, he was the beating heart of our linebacker group, fast, aggressive, and relentless. Then, we let him walk, and he landed in Arizona, where, yes, things didn't go well. But let's be honest, nothing went right in that Cardinals defense. Now here's what should concern us. Kazir White is still a free agent, and somehow, we're not in the mix. That's a problem. Because even though our linebacker room looks set on paper, we've seen how fast injuries and inconsistency can rip that apart. White knows our system. He brings leadership, flexibility, and can cover ground better than most guys in the league, especially in a scheme built around speed and pressure. Teams like the Saints, hey, Brandon Staley ties. The Colts, what's up Shane Steichen. And even the Titans are rumored to be watching him closely. So here's the real question, Bolts Nation. Why aren't we making the call? Kazir White didn't just wear the powder blue. He lived it. This is a guy who gave everything to the Chargers. Tough, versatile, experienced. And the fact that he's still sitting at home without a contract, honestly, it's baffling. He's the kind of player who can slip back into our defense without missing a beat. He knows the system, he's played in big moments, and most importantly, he doesn't need a massive contract. He's a smart pickup, period. Sure, maybe he's not a full-time starter anymore, but that's not the point. Kazir still brings serious value. You rotate him in on third downs, blitz packages, red zone situations, and suddenly, he's making the kind of plays that flip games. He may have some pass coverage concerns, but his instincts and experience still give him the edge. What's frustrating is that teams are overcomplicating this. They're passing on a reliable, proven player, and it's going to come back to bite them. Because when Kazir finally signs, he's going to walk in with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. And that version of White? That's a dangerous weapon. But hey, if you thought that was the end of the surprises, just wait. Let's talk about a reunion that could happen right under our noses. No, not Keenan Allen. That dream's over. But there's another former Charger still out there. And this one makes a lot more sense. Asante Samuel Jr., before you brush it off, hear this out. He gave us 4 solid years. Played hard, played smart, knew the defense inside and out. Yes, injuries cut his last season short. A shoulder and neck issue just 4 games in. But he's recovered now, and ready to go. And here's the part people are ignoring. We're not as deep at cornerback as we think. We lost Christian Fulton to the Chiefs, and watching him in red is going to sting. Sure, we've got Dunt Jackson, and he's solid, but relying on one guy for depth? That's risky. Samuel could come in today, give us familiarity, flexibility, and veteran presence, for almost nothing. It's one of those moves that might not make headlines, but come mid-season, could be the difference between winning close games or losing them late. The clock's ticking. The opportunity is there. Now it's just a matter of whether the Chargers see it before someone else does. Asante Samuel Jr. is just 25 years old, still young, still hungry, and still capable of making a real impact. After his injury last season, his market value has dipped, and that's exactly what makes this the perfect time to bring him back. Think about it. A 1-year prove-it deal, maybe a 2-year contract packed with incentives. Low risk, high reward. He already knows our system. He's been in the building, made plays in key moments, and even though he's not an all-pro, he's the kind of reliable defender that championship teams quietly build around. And while fans may have moved on, that's exactly why this move makes sense. No noise. No crazy price tag. Just a smart football decision. In a league where cornerback depth is everything, and injuries can flip a season overnight, having a familiar, dependable player like Samuel in your back pocket is just smart business. What excites me most? The timing. Samuel's coming off surgery, his stock is down, and nobody is really talking about him. That's how you get value. That's how you make the kind of strategic move that doesn't just fill a hole, it prevents one from forming. We've already seen flashes of what he can do. When he's healthy, he competes. He's sticky in coverage, quick in space, and not afraid to get physical. The only question is durability. And at a bargain price? That's a risk worth taking. This is what winning organizations do. They don't just chase headlines. They make quiet moves that pay off in December and January. And here's the bottom line, Bolts fans. These three stories, they're not just updates. They're the three pressure points that could decide our entire season. Zion Johnson stepping up at center and protecting our quarterback. Kazir White waiting for a call that could reshape our linebacker room. And Asante Samuel Jr., the forgotten piece that might just save the secondary. The stakes are real. The path to the playoffs, it's going to take more than talent. It's going to take guts, smart decisions, and leadership from the front office down. So now the question isn't can we compete? It's, will we make the right moves to finally get over the hump? This is the moment. Chargers Nation, are these the difference makers we've been waiting for? Or is there still one more move left to make? Let the countdown begin.